Hey guys, my name is Gabriel Vargas, and today Sam brought me on his channel so I could show you guys Drewski's hero list. Some of you guys may have seen my Burning Abyss deck profile, and in the video I asked if you guys wanted to see the hero list, so today I'm here to deliver. As many of you know, me and Drew finished top 16 at the Extravaganza this past weekend, so we decided it'd be a good time to show off the list. Before we get into it, I just wanted to say we're playing a lot of odd ratios that some people will definitely disagree with. Keep in mind, we have tested this deck for a very long time, and this is the list we believe to be most competitive. So I hope you guys enjoy the profile, and I'll let Drew take it from here.
So yeah guys, I'm Drew. Some of you guys out there, if you play Destiny, you might recognize me as a Destiny YouTuber. I also play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I absolutely love playing heroes. It's my favorite deck, and I love trying to be as competitive as possible with it. Huge shout out to Gabe and Ryan for helping me a lot with this deck and improving my play so that I can be as competitive as possible with this, and that's resulted in a top 16 placing. That's my first time, so I'm pretty excited about that, and I'm excited to play more events going forward and hopefully do some cool things with heroes. Like I said, it's my absolute favorite deck. So with that, let's get into the actual deck list and profile. So firstly, I play 2 elemental hero Stratos. I chose to play 2 because I found that the second one would come up a lot in grind games and later in the game. I also did not play 3 because Stratos doesn't really lead you to Dark Law in a lot of combos. I play going first, so Ferris pitching a Destiny hero or Shadow Mist is a lot of your combos to see Dark Law, or even just Fusion Destiny on its own, using Solid Soldier or Liquid Soldier as your normal summon and their effects to get Shadow Mist back on the field and special summon to see mass change. None of those involve Stratos. There is one small combo with Solid Soldier, Stratos, and another hero name that does lead you to Dark Law, but I don't think that it was worth playing 3 as Stratos. At 3, in my opinion, became a little bit more bricky. Next we have 2 elemental hero Shadow Mist. I play 1 elemental hero Liquid Soldier. I decided to play elemental hero Solid Soldier, which was a very last minute decision for me. Lastly, for the elemental heroes, I play elemental hero Honest Neos. This is pretty self-explanatory, helps you go for game, helps you get over monsters, and helps you evade Dogmatica Punishment, which is one of my favorite interactions with this deck. To start our Destiny hero lineup, I played Destiny hero Plasma, which I was uncertain for a while. I was actually thinking about cutting it last minute, but Gabe encouraged me to play it because it did put in a lot of work. It's one of the only guaranteed floodgate monsters we can see. I played 2 Destiny hero Malicious, and that's pretty self-explanatory. 1 Destiny hero Dynatag, another Destiny hero name to be sent off of Fusion Destiny, and this is what boosts Dystopia so you can get a pop with it. I decided to play Destiny hero Drawhand as my level 4 Destiny hero target. I think this is the best one. It's better than Celestial, simply because it acts as our pseudo third Mali that's now on the ban list because we only have 2. There's also some cool combos that you can do with this and Drool, forcing your opponent to draw a card and then drool them, and ideally rip with Dark Law as well. I play the 1 evil hero Adusted Gold. This is self-explanatory. It leads itself to Malicious Bane. I play 3 Vision hero Ferris. I don't think this needs any explanation. This is a massive core and heart of the deck to enable a lot of combos and allows the deck to go off. I played 1 Vision hero Increase. The standard right now I believe is 2 generally. I decided to play 1 because I wanted to see it less often, and I think Gabe, who really encouraged me to only play 1 of this card, can explain this better than I ever could, so I'm gonna let him do that.
The theory behind playing 1 copy of Vision Hero Increase is similar to that of playing 1 Garnet in a deck that runs Brilliant Fusion. You never want to draw a Garnet because it doesn't accomplish anything in your hand. Therefore, even though playing 2 increases would increase, haha, get it, the probability of Ferris's effect resolving as intended, the second one isn't worth it because its inclusion is more likely to cause brick hands than help Ferris resolve. Cutting down on increase also provides an additional utility slot in the main deck.
Next I play 3 Vision hero Vion. I believe this is the best normal summon of the deck. I think it is better than Stratos, and basically we exchange the normally would be 2 increase in most profiles for a 3rd Vion and 1 increase. And for my hand trap lineup, I decided to just main 3 Ash Blossoms. This was the most generic hand trap, and it kind of is good against everything, the most matchups possible. And for the Extravaganza, I think I was expecting lots of diversity, many different decks, I want to play something that could cover as much as possible, even though it's not the highest impact. To start our spells, we have One Hero Lives. This is an incredibly powerful spell card and needs no explanation. I play 3 Fusion Destiny. This is an insane card, allowing you to dump Shadow Mist, Malicious, Dynateg, Draw Hand, so many different names that do so much in the graveyard for monsters that are very powerful on their own on the summon. This enables so many different combos. This alone gets you to Darklaw. This alone gets you to Plasma and 4 summons. Of course, we play 3 Mass Changes, one of the strongest spells in the deck as well. For our searchers, I played 1 Rhoda and 1 E-Call. I was nervous at first cutting down E-Call, as a lot of people mentioned this is really important for the consistency of the deck. But after playing it, I didn't really notice not having too many. I think 1 was enough. It allowed me for more flex cards to play in the deck that were huge, like Ash and cards that I'll mention in a moment. And Rhoda let us see Vion, so that's why I chose that over 2 E-Calls. I play 3 Super Polymerization. This card was fantastic. This card's incredible, I think, in this deck. You have a bunch of different names that you can go into and super poly off some threatening monsters for some odd targets. For our last fusion spells, I play the standard Polymerization, Dark Calling, and then Miracle Fusion. And last but certainly not least, I play Pot of Prosperity, 3 of them. This card was excellent for the deck. At first, I was conflicted running this with Super Poly, as I'd have to banish some targets potentially for it, but sometimes I would just do 3 cards to try and dig a little bit. It really depended on your hand. This card helps you see your unsearchables, like Ferris. And when I say Ferris is unsearchable, I mean we can't use our normal summon, because that means we're not getting to Darklaw. If we search Ferris off of Stratos, it means no Darklaw for us. So we want to see Ferris, and we want to see that again with a Destiny Hero or Shadow Mist. We want to see Mass Change. We want to see Fusion Destiny, and this card got me to those pretty frequently. So now moving on to the extra deck. To start, of course, we run 2 Masked Hero Darklaw. This card, I'm sure everyone knows how insane this card is. Next, for our Destiny Heroes, I run 1 Destiny Hero Dangerous and 1 Destiny Hero Dystopia. Destiny Hero Dangerous is there because you want to be able to send Shadow Mist, and you can for that card because it requires a dark monster. So Shadow Mist, of course, is a dark monster, and that facilitates a lot of combos. I play the 1 Masked Hero Acid. This is the only other Masked Hero I'm running other than Darklaw. And the reason for that is because I love the combo of being able to mass change Ab-Zero into Acid and just do the whole board nuke and chain block each other. I think it's so insane. And it's one of your main things to do, of course, against back row decks where Darklaw isn't doing as much against it, right? So this card is really important for that. I mentioned that this is the only other master I'm running other than Darklaw. This does mean I'm not playing Blast and I'm not playing Anki. I cut those because they weren't coming up enough and they weren't impactful enough, and I needed super poly target space. So that's why I cut those. To start our Elemental Hero lineup, I play the 1 Elemental Hero Sunrise. As for the other Elemental Hero fusions, I use the generic targets. So this includes Escorido, The Shining, Great Tornado, and Absolute Zero. Absolute Zero is one that's seeing standard play in Heroes right now because you can Miracle Fusion Liquid. Of course, that has the fantastic effect when it leaves the field, and that combo with Acid I mentioned earlier. The other ones, however, I played Escorido because sometimes with Fusion Destiny, it does lock you into dark monsters. And when you're going for game, it really sucks to have a Miracle Fusion and you can't summon any of your targets because they aren't dark. I don't love playing Escorido, but because that scenario comes up for me and I've not been able to go for game when I otherwise would have been able to, I still play it. I play The Shining, and this card really overperformed. It was a lot better than I thought. Originally, I started playing it because I'm like, okay, I want a target for Zeus, I want one for Eldritch, I want one against Dinos, so I'm gonna play The Shining. However, I actually even made it without playing Super Poly sometimes, simply because of how it let me recycle my banished heroes. It summons itself and it becomes a massive body late game because of all your banished elemental heroes, and it allows you to grind more because when it is sent to graveyard, you can add back banished elemental heroes. I literally won game simply because I would summon this, it threatens their monster or their board, they have to deal with it, I get cards back, and then I start comboing off again. So that recursion is something I grew to love. Great Tornado is a weird one. I'm playing this solely because I want to super poly off Battle Butler in Prank Kids, as well as the Barrier Statue in Bird Up. On the topic of super poly targets, I run Mud Dragon of the Swamp and Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. These are both pretty generic super poly targets. I don't think they need explanation. It's just more efforts to make super poly live without using our own monsters, which the elemental heroes require us to do, which isn't always favorable. Our last fusion in the deck is none other than Evil Hero Malicious Bane. This card is amazing for board breaking. It's problematic because it's hard to get rid of, and it can keep doing it over and over and over again, and really helps with going for game, and most importantly, playing through Nibiru. Lastly, for our linked monsters, I played the 1 Cross Crusader and 1 Wonder Driver. At first I was playing 2 Cross Crusader, but again I needed to cut things to make spots for super poly targets, which I think proved useful in the long run. Moving on to my side deck now, I played 3 Nibiru. I feel this card's impactful against Dragon Link, especially with another hand trap, which is good. It's also good for a lot of generic rogue, which I anticipated playing a lot of in the Extravaganza. The next hand trap I played was 3 Droll and Lockbird. I think this card again is very impactful against Dragon Link and a myriad of other decks this format. So it's just a very high impact hand trap. It has the potential to be very high impact even by itself, which is great. For some going first cards, I play Imperial Order. This is another card I was pretty iffy on, but Gabe kind of convinced me to play it because how strong it is behind Darklaw. Going first, this card can stop Dark Ruler, it can stop Lightning Storm, so many strong spell cards. Should all fusion is a big problem for Darklaw boards. If I don't have battle protection, they can easily get over the Darklaw even with Wonder Driver there. There's so many cards that this stops, and it's so problematic for so many decks. I play 3 Solemn Judgments also for going first. As you can guess, this deck lacks a negate, so we kind of have to play something to supplement our board if we know we're going first. So this makes our board that much stronger, and if we have Darklaw with Judgment, a lot of the time I find you are usually going to win the game. The last cards in my side deck are 5 back row hate cards. We have 2 Cosmic and 3 Twin. Before we finish off the profile, I wanted to talk about Nibiru. A lot of people seem to think that Nibiru absolutely kills this deck, and I find that I don't really lose to Nibiru unless I'm, without a choice, forced to play into it. Like no other choice, which I'd find doesn't really happen often. Me and Gabe and Ryan have tried and worked on this for a long time to make this deck or play the deck in a way that is very simplified and builds a lot of follow-up with very few summons, still seeing the cards that we need though. A lot of the time when I'm playing and I'm going for game, I think the skill in this deck is putting game on the board, but also not overextending, not going crazy when you don't need to, being able to put down game almost twice if you want to think of it like that, having things like Miracle Fusion in hand, Fusion Destiny in hand, Adjusted Gold to play through Nib in hand. There are so many different ways and combos with these cards here to play through Nibiru. A lot of the time with the standard Ferris combo, you can build all your follow-up in your hand off of turn 1. So you, again, even if you get Nibiru, you have follow-up. And if you don't get Nibiru, you have follow-up for the next turn to go for the kill, hopefully, ideally, if you're seeing Darklaw. So if you'd like to see some of those combos, again, I'd love to do that in a future video with Gabe. Maybe we can do some cool hero combos that don't play into Nib. With this deck, again, I feel like you either have to choose not to play into it at all, and there's a lot of combos, like with Fusion Destiny, we mentioned, Plasma and 4 summons, Hero Lives is an instant Darklaw, or extend past it, meaning go for a big board, go for your combo, and then have enough follow-up in hand or hold follow-up that allows you to keep extending through it. So if you'd like to see, again, those kind of combos or plays that me and Gabe have thought of, let me know, and maybe me and Gabe will make another video on that. So that concludes the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I want to give a big shout out to Gabe, Ryan, and my team, Cardboard Cravings, especially Gabe. All of them have spent so much time with me and dealt with me being stubborn about playing this deck. I think it has a lot of potential, and it is also my favorite deck, and they spent time with me to improve me as a player, but also really improve this deck to what we believe is the most competitive way to possibly play this deck. And it amounted to a good placing, my first top placing ever. I'm hoping for many more in the future with heroes, and for that reason, definitely subscribe to Gabe. I owe him one, especially again for helping me make this deck, so definitely subscribe to him, like the video, comment with what you think and what we can improve on. And if you want to see some more hero shenanigans from Gabe and myself and some fun content in the future, then let us know and we might do that. On behalf of Gabe and myself, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and take care.